Week 3 is in the books. We had some good things. We had some bad things. Bad things for teams, bad things for coaches. Welcome to the Walk On Redshirts podcast. We are entering week 4 of the college football season. As always, I have my friend William here with me to dissect, talk about everything college football that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, but I don't watch college football anymore.
Where are we at on the thermos meter right now?
I refuse to post that, not because, well, I refuse to post that. And let me tell you why.
Yeah, but we all love it.
The people do love it, and honestly, I just keep forgetting to post it. If we're in the trust tree, I just keep forgetting to post it and update it. And it's just an Excel sheet, but it needs to be updated. It needs to be updated. Jake, I'm in a bad place. I've been telling everybody at work that I don't watch football anymore. That I prefer to watch competitive bike racing. But in all reality, I'm a sicko.
Tour de France guy. I don't know when that happens, but Tour de France guy.
No, it's too mainstream for me.
Too mainstream.
I want to go outside and stand outside the busiest roads where the bikers really piss you off, because they hold up all the traffic. And I just want to say, hey, the person in the Coca-Cola spandex is going to beat the person in the Walmart spandex. And, pick my favorite racers that are just going out on a Saturday stroll.
You should hold up a sign that says, "You've got this. You're going to win today."
That
way all of them see it.
Or because, all right, are we in the trust tree?
We're in the trust tree.
I hate street bikers. Hate them. I think they're the scum of the earth. Respectfully.
I don't think many people do like them, if we're being
respectfully,
honest.
Though.
I apologize to anybody listening to this that is a street biker, but
I don't.
You wouldn't mind me.
I do not apologize to you because you've done so much damage to me that the least you can do is not let me apologize to you. So what I'll say is what I should do is stand out on the race with cups and say water, hold out the cup, and then they go to drink it and there's nothing in it. That would be awesome. Or it's a block of ice, so they go to scoop it. Pump.
Oh,
I think nothing being in there would actually be worse than the ice being in there.
Well, for any of those people that still do watch college football, make sure to go download Squad Blitz. They have one contest this week. They're giving away $100 to the winner. Make sure to click Walk On Redshirts as your referral. Chance to win $100 this week. Last week, there wasn't a ton of people who joined. This week, I think they're going to have a big week this week giving away cash. If you're not doing so already, make sure to rate and follow the podcast. We'll be putting episodes out every week throughout the rest of the year and well into January. So make sure you stay up to date. We have some big news, though, in the college football coaching world, though, William. We had two Power 4 coaches relieved of their duties. If I am correct, there were actually 0 Power 4 jobs that opened last year. I believe last year, no Power 4 jobs were open, and we have UCLA and Virginia Tech both now open.
Billy Napier was the closest thing to being open last year because they were posting the job odds after week 2.
Yeah, they were talking about who would be the replacement. I believe that there was no Power 4 coaches who were fired. So this opens up a massive opportunity because you did not have any group of 5 coaches or coordinators really move up into the Power 4 ranks last year. Let's talk about Virginia Tech first. Brent Pry is out. This one, it felt so obvious. They were down 38-7 at one point to Old Dominion. They were getting absolutely waxed by Old Dominion.
Don't sleep on Old Dominion. They give a lot of Power 5 programs a tough time. Ask South Carolina last year in week 1. But good gracious. Did you see the sideline reporter's halftime update for that game? He's the Virginia Tech sideline reporter. So he was in the stands. He was running down. They said, hey, give us your sideline and, halftime review of what's to come. And he said, guys, this will be quick. It's over. And then he just turned it off.
Oh, goodness.
That's a professional. He was done, man.
When do you think Brent Pry realized that he was done?
Probably.
You think it was halftime?
I would say in the Vanderbilt game. No, honestly, in all seriousness, it was probably halftime. It was probably halftime. I bet someone came up, spoke to him, said, hey, buddy, you're going to finish this game. We're going to give you a handshake. Here's some flowers for your way out. See you, buddy. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yeah, I wanted him to be good. I thought he was good.
He was 16-24 in his career at Virginia Tech. He just really never got it going. Like last year, it felt like it should have been Virginia Tech. Like, hey, year 3, that's where you take your step up. And it just didn't happen. I know some could be injuries, Kyron Jones hasn't always been the healthiest, but Kyron Jones hasn't played great this year. There's a lot of questions. Who do you go get there? Shane Beamer's name that's going to be thrown out because of his dad. Personally, I don't think it's a fit on either side. I don't think Shane Beamer's going to take it. I don't think he's going to try to follow in his dad's legacy. His dad literally has a statue there. The only way that Beamer can even live up to that is if he takes Virginia Tech to multiple playoffs.
Or if he gets a bigger statue.
Yeah, or if he gets a bigger statue.
Will Brent Pry get a statue?
He might get like a time capsule.
Yeah. If you're in this same scenario 50 years from now, run. Do not schedule Old Dominion and run. But I will say on the Twitter sphere, because everything is valid on social media, the rumors are already swirling around Mr. Beamer.
The rumors are going to swirl. I don't think that there's actually, honestly,
me neither.
I as much as I hate this idea as well, I think Michael Vick is an interesting candidate. I don't think he's the right candidate. He's too new to coaching right now.
I've read two things about him. Number one, I read that Virginia Tech brass, like the boosters, asked him to take a job to start building experience now.
Yeah.
They probably
didn't. 1-3 reported that they wanted him to take a job to start getting ready.
But Michael Vick came out today and said, I'm not interested, which doesn't mean anything, people.
Oh, no, that doesn't mean anything.
So Michael Vick is an actual legitimate candidate. Would that be a good idea? Hell no. Not no, but hell no. Listen, Michael Vick was a phenomenal player. This whole trend of hiring former players with no coaching experience to come and be the head coach is silly. Look at what's happening in Colorado right now. They're a dumpster fire.
Yeah, but look what's happening in Bowling Green with Eddie George. They've got a cat.
They've got a cat that picks games. You're correct. What's the cat's name again?
Pudge. Pudge the cat.
All right, are we in the trust tree?
Yeah.
I was just about to say I think the cat's name is Mr. Pecker, and that wouldn't have been.
No, it's
good Pudge. Good thing I didn't say that on the podcast. So it's Pudge.
Hear me out on this one, Coach O.
So I have Coach O for a different job, but Coach O would be great. I don't think Virginia is his cup of tea. He seems like a South Beach, South Miami kind of guy, or South Cal kind of guy.
He did coach at USC for a little while, and he was the intern there. I think Coach O could bring the excitement to that program. I put an article out the other day. The other guys I had, Alex Golish. I don't know if Alex Golish would leave USF for this. He seems like he's got a pretty decent gig, or if he waits for a better job. I don't know where you rate Virginia Tech on a scale of good jobs. That's my problem. Bob Chesney? Go ahead.
Alex Golish has connections to the SEC. I think if he leaves, it would be a team like Arkansas. It'd be a team like Florida. If Florida opens up.
Alex Golish also has ties to the Big Ten.
Oh, that's true. You're right. So,
not that Virginia Tech matters, but just saying. Bob Chesney at James Madison. I just don't know if he's the right guy. He's won at every level. He coached D3, D2, FCS, FBS, went 9-4 last year. Struggled against Louisville. Probably wasn't going to win that game. They gave him a little bit of a fight for a while. I put Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator at Alabama. He coached at South Alabama for 3 years as the head coach. Left willingly to be the defensive coordinator for Alabama. Alabama defense was obviously shaky that first game against Florida State. I think they've improved. The main thing is he's got head coaching experience there, and now he's been in a program like Alabama. Could he take that jump over to Florida or Virginia Tech? Maybe. Shannon Dawson at Miami, the offensive coordinator, is a name who really intrigues me because I think if Virginia Tech could get him, it's not the sexiest hire, but it's a guy with offense, like big offensive experience. Last year with Cam Ward, this year with Carson Beck. Even 2 years ago, they went 7-6, but they went through like 3 quarterbacks and still won 7 games. I think Shannon Dawson is going to be a head coach here sometime soon. Will Stein's another one that brought up. I think he's just too young, and he's going to be able to have to pick up the litter for his job.
Yeah, and I think, with the amount of hype he's got, he's going to go to a place more high profile. I have him potentially going to UCLA. It isn't high profile, but it's in a high profile area. Have you thought about Jimbo Fisher?
No, I don't think Jimbo Fisher. I would skip Jimbo Fisher.
You would skip Jimbo Fisher. Would they skip Jimbo Fisher? He's from the area.
I know he's from West Virginia. I don't know. I don't think that will excite the Hokie fans. I'll be honest.
I think anything would excite the Hokie fans at this point. I mean, I have people reaching out to me, Hokie fans reaching out to me and saying, I'm glad you got ahead of us, ahead of this, knowing we were going to suck in the preseason. I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like y'all are down bad. Like you're going back into my predictions from 3 months ago and saying you were ahead of this. Like what? No, I think everybody's ahead of this. Virginia Tech was going to suck. We all knew it. You're feeling it right now. I think they would. I think Jimbo Fisher is a high profile enough person to come in there and take this job right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had Virginia Tech
I hear you
right
though.
around 4
I can't
wins.
stand Jimbo Fisher, so I would hate that.
I would not go near Jimbo Fisher. Personally, if I was them, like first, I would try to see Alex Golesh should probably be my first call. If I'm them, I would go to Alex Golesh and see if he says no. If he says no, I don't know if you necessarily need a head coach. Like Pat Fitzgerald's name's thrown out there. I think Pat Fitzgerald, jumping over to UCLA, Pat Fitzgerald makes the most sense for Stanford or UCLA. Like needs to be hired. Like Pat Fitzgerald belongs at Stanford or UCLA.
Do you think David Shaw gets a call?
No. I think UCLA is a bottom. I'm trying to think here in the Big Ten. I mean, it's bottom half of the Big Ten for sure. Like it is a bottom half of the Big Ten job.
They're part of the Little Ten. They're not part
your head coach left to be an offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Yeah.
You both knew that you didn't want Chip Kelly there anymore. Chip Kelly didn't want to be there. UCLA didn't really want him anymore. And he left to be an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. DeShaun Foster lasted a full, 15 games before he got fired?
Did he figure out where UCLA was located?
I still don't know if I don't know if anybody, his players even know where they are.
Okay, I was asking because he did say we are in LA.
Problem with UCLA is my perception of the program is that they care so much more about the rest of their sports that football isn't king. Like you look at some of these other major programs, like you go to Alabama, football's king. That's great that basketball or other sports are good. Doesn't matter. If football is not good, people are being fired.
It kind of reminds me of Kentucky, in the SEC. They really prefer that basketball is great, and they're kind of okay being second fiddle in the SEC. I think UCLA is okay being second fiddle to USC when it comes to football, and as long as they're good at basketball and baseball.
Yeah. I mean, the Rose Bowl's an hour away. I just read the students aren't even back in class yet because they're on the quarters. So they only go 10 weeks in the fall. So the students aren't even on campus and the coach is already fired. So when I think about who is going to take this job, I honestly have no idea. I don't think it's an intriguing job. I don't think you're going to get a high profile group of 5 coach. I don't think you're going to get a high profile offense or defense coordinator. I'm going to probably look into this a little bit harder tomorrow to see who they could go after. But, you wrote Spencer Danielson down. I don't think there's a chance in hell.
He's from
Spencer
there.
Yeah, but he played at Boise State, didn't he?
I think so, but he's from. Yeah, that's true.
He took Boise State to the playoff. He will. UCLA will not go to the playoff in the next 15 years. Will not.
15 years?
I'm confident saying that. UCLA will not make the playoff in the next 15 years because they are second fiddle in their own city. They're not even a consideration in their own conference, and they can't keep their talent home. They won't be able to keep their talent home. Everybody's having trouble keeping their own talent home now with the stage of NIL. Everybody is moving around. It's much more of a globalized sport, at least in the country. UCLA is not a historic program. I don't know why people all of a sudden think that UCLA is like, hey,
it's because they play in the Rose Bowl. That's it.
They play in the Rose Bowl. They play against USC. They both wear home jerseys. Like UCLA is not a historic program.
Wait. That's dope, though. I wish more schools did that.
I mean, I really do too. I wish Ohio State and Michigan wore their home jerseys every year. But if you want to look back, like UCLA has finished in the top 10 once since 2000.
Yeah.
They had a little spurt there in the 90s where they finished the top 10 twice. But since 1990, they've finished in the top 10 3 times. Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or 8 times they have finished top 25 since 1990. They had under Terry Donahue, they were pretty consistent, but that's the only real period of consistency since the 1960s that they've even been decent. And under Terry Donahue, they had a handful of top 10 finishes, but they also finished unranked a bunch of times.
Yeah.
UCLA is a very tough program to coach at. It is like borderline like coaching at Vanderbilt or coaching at Stanford, coaching at Northwestern. Like it doesn't necessarily have the academic standards, but there's so many other things that the athletic department, is focused on. It's more similar to Stanford and trying to take care of as many sports as possible rather than Alabama and Ohio State, that Georgia, where it's like football. We're going to focus on football, put our resources into football.
Think about this too, Jake. Athens, Georgia. What is there to do in Athens, Georgia besides speed?
I was going to say go 95 miles an hour.
In UCLA, you're giving a dude $2 million to come play at UCLA, right? Nico, I am a Leva. There's
Nico,
no
I am a
way
leaving again.
A 20-year-old kid with $2 million in his pocket is focused on football in Los Angeles. 0% chance. There's too many things.
Let's see what happens with USC this year, because I could see USC being decent this year, and maybe Lincoln's righted his ship a little bit.
USC's in Pasadena, so that's different.
USC is not in Pasadena. USC is in LA.
No.
USC is like more in LA than UCLA.
Ask Deshaun Foster. Let's call him up. He's got some time on his hands.
He's got some free time.
Ed Orgeron is my pick to go there.
I don't even know who I'd pick. Not even sure who.
Go Bruins. Go Bruins, baby.
Oh,
they got Gumbo out there.
Let's talk about the games from last weekend. Georgia wins an overtime thriller against Tennessee. From your perspective, is Georgia going to start rolling now? Gunnar Stockton made some pretty good throws in that game.
Yep. The dude threw for 300 passes, or 300 yards. I didn't expect that out of Georgia. So I said this was going to be a 3-point game. What I did not say was that it was going to be 85 points or total points. I said it was going to be 37 points total. So egg on my face. And I also said Gunnar Stockton can't throw. You can't trust him to throw. If they throw for more than 25 yards or 25 times in the game, they lose. They threw 31 times, and they did just fine. So the thing that I liked the most out of this Georgia team was their ability to fight back. Tennessee had them multiple times. Done. First quarter, they're up 21-7. A lot of lesser teams would roll over. Then Tennessee's up 8 with 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. Georgia marches down the field, scores, gets the 2-point conversion like it was nothing. And we all knew they were getting that 2-point conversion. I mean, they just had all
that
the momentum.
Throw on 4th and 6 over the shoulder.
Good God. Perfect offense beats perfect defense, Jake, and that was the epitome of that. So London.
You want to talk about a ball that only his wide receiver can get? Yeah.
Not just you want to talk about ball. You want to talk about balls making that play call on 4th and 6?
Yeah,
to throw a 20-yard pass on 4th and 6. That was, you had to put it in the perfect spot where only your guy could get it. I mean, that was a beautiful pass.
That's also not an easy catch for a wide receiver to make.
Sliding to get. I mean, but all you people who wanted to hate on Joey Aguilar, where are you now? Where are you now? I think let's give Georgia their flowers. They did what they were supposed to do. But by God, Joey Aguilar can play some freaking football. Can he not?
Oh, yeah. No, both these quarterbacks showed out.
It was a gunslinging shootout. Joey Aguilar threw for 371 yards. He almost put a 400 burger on this Georgia defense. Nobody does that. And Jake, the throws he was making were like confident, like, I trust my guy more than your guy. Similar with Gunnar Stockton, where, perfect offense beats perfect defense. Chris Brazzell, on his last touchdown catch, Joey Aguilar throws a 30, 40-yard bomb to him. The defender's draped on him like a cheap suit. Chris Brazzell makes the play, walks in the end zone, touchdown. He has no business throwing that football. But he's like, my guy's better than that guy. I'm going to trust him to go win. Gives him the opportunity. I was so impressed with Joey Aguilar that this Tennessee team has shot up in what I think they're going to be this year. I thought they're going to be 5th, 6th, 7th in the SEC. Jake, this is a top 4 team in the SEC. I think they're better than LSU. I mean, if I told you I think Tennessee is the second best team in the SEC, Who would you argue with me against?
Honestly, I think they're a top 4 team. I would say you could make the case for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma would be my argument personally, but I hope they play. Do they play this year? That's going to be a hell of a game.
Oklahoma and Tennessee play. Looks like the first or second week of November.
That is going to be a phenomenal game. So the top of the SEC: Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma. I think they have separated themselves from everybody else. Alabama and LSU are on the same tier as me. I think LSU is finding ways to win, but it looks ugly. Bowling shoe ugly.
I would put A&M in that second tier too.
Yes, I would put A&M there, but I would put them at the top of it because we'll talk about that game in a minute. I think Tennessee has pushed themselves up into that upper echelon of the SEC this year, and the defense is good enough. They were out of their 2 top cornerbacks, and they still were in this game. Should have won the game. If you want to be nitpicky to Tennessee, they pissed on their leg at the end. Josh Heupel,
they missed a field goal at the end of the game. So,
but the dude was having a full-on panic attack on the sideline. Jake, like, what are we doing? You have to give the dude the opportunity to calm down. And if you see that's going on that way, it was still 3rd down, and you had 2 timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Run an extra play, calm him down, get him exactly where he wants to be. I mean, I get it. Like, maybe you're like, all right, hey, he's panicking right now. The longer we wait, the more he'll panic. I get it. And he made his next kick, but this was a hell of a game. Probably the best game of the night between that and Notre Dame, Texas A&M, which is what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah. This game to me is, well, you talk about Tennessee played really well. They had 4 sacks as well. They only allowed 1 sack. So Tennessee played really well. They should come out of this game. I understand you're disappointed you lost, but I think you feel pretty good about a chance to get back to the playoffs. You look at the remaining schedule: Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Alabama are your only 3 really tough remaining games. You got UAB, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Kentucky, New Mexico State. I'll give you Florida as a tough game, but we'll see what happens with Florida right now. That's still a long ways away. We'll see if Billy Napier is even coaching there at that point.
Billy Napier is a second-half coach. We know this.
But watching DJ Lagway throw 5 interceptions, is it an off night or is this who he is? Anyways, let's talk about the game we just referenced. Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
Before we talk about the game, do we know if the safety is okay? The one who had to get carted out in an ambulance.
I have not seen any update on injuries.
Okay. You go and start. I want to look into that because I just remembered I forgot to look that up.
So for anybody that didn't listen to last week, I was at a fall wedding last week, unfortunately.
I wasn't going to,
but I did get to catch the end of this game. I got to catch basically the whole 4th quarter for the most part. Everything that I've watched highlights-wise, everything that I've read about this game, the 4th quarter here, I mean, it doesn't matter what excuse, holding call, on the final possession for Texas A&M, Tyler Buckner botched the snap on an extra point. And if they get that extra point, they go to overtime. CJ Carr, I thought, overall played pretty good. I mean, you talk about putting up 40 points on Texas A&M, throwing for 293 yards, touchdown, interception. Jeremiah Love with 94 yards, only a long of a 16 throughout the night. You can tell that Notre Dame was trying to run the ball and put more effort on running the ball in this. I mean, they ran the ball 38 times. Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love, both had carries. They combined for 35 carries in this game. You could tell that they made more of an effort to run the ball because they didn't feel like they made as much of an effort against Miami. I'm wondering where Jaden Greathouse is. He only had 2 catches for 41 yards on Saturday night. Last year in the playoff, he was the breakout star. He didn't have a catch against Miami. He only had 2 catches against Texas A&M here. To me, the story here is I think Marcel Reed can actually lead Texas A&M to a playoff berth, but my God, we got to work on consistency here.
I think you can be as inconsistent as you want when you have Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion.
Yes.
Jake, do you know how many yards Mario Craver had receiving in this game?
I just looked it up. Yeah, 207.
Good gracious. 7 catches, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. Casey Concepcion had a good day at 4 receptions, 82 yards. But like these guys were just making plays when it mattered the most. And the most even more insane than the Mario Craver stat of 207 yards receiving was Marcel Reed throwing for 360 yards. Has he ever done that before?
On 17 completions. He was 17 of 37 for 360 yards.
What does that average out at? That's 360 divided by 17.
It's like 20 yards of completion.
21 yards. Jay, look at you with that quick math. 21 yards of completion. Guys, us walk-ons, you know why we're on the team? Because we're good at school. Jake just showed why we're the GPA boosters on the team. Good job, Jake.
17 completions, though. 17 completions. The fact that he had 20 incompletions, that's why I talk about inconsistency. Yeah, you throw it for 360 yards. You cannot expect to be 17 of 37 in future big games and expect to win. It worked today. It worked on Saturday. It's great. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you win. But moving forward, Marcel Reed's got to be a little more consistent on this.
Are we worried
about
find
a way to win? That's all that matters. You just throw it up to your tight end in the corner, watch him moss the DB, and you win the game. That's all that matters.
Are we worried about Notre Dame's defense?
Yes. Yes, I am. Because going into the season, I thought they had the best secondary in the country. Obviously, Marcel Reed just absolutely torched them.
Well, hold on, Jake. Hold on. They threw the ball 37 times, and he only completed 17 of them. Yes, it was for a substantial amount of yards, but, I mean, did the defensive backs play that bad?
Yes, they limited the completion. They limited it, but you still allowed a guy to average 21 yards of completion. That's
you got to make tackles. You got to make tackles. But you look at it, the most glaring thing to me is that you also gave up 130 yards rushing. I mean,
there's only 4 yards of carry, and Marcel Reed was really the one carrying that average.
Le'Veon Moss had 80 yards rushes, 80 yards carrying on 20 yards rushing. Oh my gosh, 20 rushes for 80 yards. That's
4.1 yards per carry in college, though, isn't like 4.1 in the NFL. I will say that. Like in college, you're looking for guys to be more of that 5 range. 4 is like you're fine.
You're average running back. I get it, but this Notre Dame defense wasn't supposed to be allowing any of this.
No,
so that's what's crazy to me.
There were jokes going around that they're going to go right down to Cincinnati and try to grab Al Golden right back because Chris Ash is not holding up to the standard that they were expecting for a Notre Dame team. I will say you got to give Notre Dame credit for scheduling these games early on. Notre Dame has the opportunity to make whatever schedule they want. And they are playing Miami and Notre Dame in the first 2 weeks. They could have scheduled a cupcake in between. Probably should have scheduled a cupcake in between if we're being 100% honest. Should have scheduled one of their crap games, a Ball State or somebody. But shout out Notre Dame for playing 2 really tough games start the season, not worrying about it and just, jumping right into it. These are the games that we love. They're a reason why I still have them ranked. I know there are a lot of people who say, well, they're 0-2. They shouldn't be ranked. I would rather have an 0-2 Notre Dame team who played 2 top 10 teams, losing by 4 points, than having a 3-0 team who beat Ball State, Northern Kentucky, and Air Force. Like, to me, I would rather see you have played competitive football than you just notched one in the win column against some crap team.
So you don't love the troops?
Yeah, I know. I use Air Force, but Air Force is not that good this year. I don't believe they are.
But we love the troops.
Okay, fine. Tarleton State.
Thank you.
Tarleton State.
I'm pretty sure a general went to Tarleton State, so you don't love those troops either.
I'm going to assume that they're in Mexico.
Okay, good. Also, another glaring thing for Notre Dame that I want to highlight: you're averaging three yards a carry with Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price in the backfield. When do we
Jeremiah
hit
Love
that
has
panic
not
button?
looked great so far this year.
Is that his fault or is that play calling? He touched the ball 23 times in this game, so they gave him the opportunity.
They did give him opportunities. He had a long of 16. Last game, only gained 10 carries, was criminal.
The touchdown catch he had was phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of Jeremiah Love yet. I think he'll get it going. Obviously, the schedule gets a lot easier for Notre Dame here moving forward. They get Purdue this week. They do still have Arkansas, which could be interesting. They do still have Boise State. They got USC. The last few weeks of the schedule, though, they should cruise through with Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford. The question is, will it matter at that point?
Jake, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Technically, in the independent standings, UConn is ahead of Notre Dame.
That's crazy.
So
because UConn is UConn 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Stop the count. They've done it.
UConn lost to Delaware this past weekend.
But
Delaware in overtime.
They still have more wins than Notre Dame.
Hey, that's FBS Delaware. Just make sure that we're clear on that. FBS Delaware.
That's right. What conference are they in? American?
I think Delaware's in. I think Conference USA.
I'm looking it up.
They're not in the MAC. Logically, they're in the Mountain West because college football doesn't make any sense anymore.
No way. Oh, you're kidding. Why do I not know this? Yeah, they're in the American.
No,
Conference USA. Conference USA.
I'm pretty sure they're Conference USA.
I get American Conference USA confused. Hand up. Sorry.
One says America, one says USA. It's the same thing.
Oh, and it's not the American Athletic Conference anymore. It's just the American. Don't forget that. We love the troops.
All right, final game.
Jake, make me do it.
Go ahead. Take your rant. Georgia Tech wins in overtime against Clemson. Let's talk about it.
All right, Jake. If we were previewing this game and I told you that Jamal Haynes was going to run 12 times for 26 yards, what would you tell me the score was going to be?
For how many yards?
He rushed the ball 12 times for 26 yards.
That's not good. So
no, it's not good at all. But I will tell you that Haynes King ran 25 times for 110 yards. So the dude did what he does. He gets hurt, he limps, and he wins. Like as the game got further on, he started running the ball better and better and better. Established a running game. I'll give him that. They ran for 5 yards a carry. Adam Randall had 15 yards or 15 attempts for 80 yards. The running game looked decent. Cade Klubnik looks like he has no confidence out there. He looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in college football right now. And I'm not even being exaggerative. 15 for 26 for 207 yards against one of the worst pass defenses in the country. Bryant Wesco, TJ Moore, Tyler Brown. You have all these guys in the receiving room. And what are we doing? Now, Bryant Wesco had a hell of a game. He had 7 catches for 126 yards and a 73-yard touchdown that made me strain my oblique. I was throwing my fist so hard. But other than that, the offense is just so clunky and inconsistent and cannot move very well. And Jake, if they can't improve on that side of the ball, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season because the defense played well outside of one drive. 13 plays, 90 yards. You had Georgia Tech on the 10-yard line. You let them go 13 plays for 90 yards and take 6 minutes off the clock in what ended up being the 21st point. They were able to score the 20th and the 21st point. Nope, they had to go for 2. And then naturally at the end, they kicked the field goal in the fire drill. That was hats off to them. That was very well executed. There was 15 seconds left on the clock. The clock was running. They ran out their field goal unit and kicked a career-long 55-yard field goal for their field goal kicker. His name is slipping my mind. I actually don't want to look at his name. It's going to give me a conniption if I look at it. But hats off to Georgia Tech. They played a hell of a game. I think they proved to everybody that they're not a team that is just going to roll over or that is just going to get beat like they used to. They're a tough team. They have an identity. They have a great culture. Brent Key is a hell of a coach. I wish he didn't coach for Georgia Tech because that broke my heart this weekend because I do love Brent Key. And they've established themselves as one of the best teams in the ACC. And, Jake, it only gets easier from here. The hardest part of their schedule is over because they've played us. The remaining part of their schedule is abysmal. Let me pull it up for you. You tell me when you're ready.
I put this out today, actually, that we are in a position where 11-0 Georgia Tech is within the realm when they play Georgia.
I will say I predicted them to go 11-1.
They play Temple, who I'm backing off a little bit here. We got blasted by Oklahoma last week. We got humbled by John Mateer. Temple at home, at Wake Forest, versus Virginia Tech, who doesn't have a coach. At Duke, could be a little tricky. Syracuse, I still don't really know what to make of them yet. At NC State, who defense has been weird and inconsistent. At Boston College, who just got absolutely.
I would argue with you on NC State's defense. It's not been inconsistent. It's been consistently bad.
No, it was inconsistent through the first 2.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden they figure out how to play defense in like the fourth quarter. That's
true.
What I mean by inconsistent.
That's true. Okay, I'm with you on that.
It's not inconsistent game to game. It's inconsistent quarter to quarter.
I'll follow you on that. I like that.
Pitt, who just lost to West Virginia, who I'm really not sure if they're going to be that good. So Temple, Wake, Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, Pitt. Like, they're going to be favored in almost all of them. At Duke is the only one I think they could potentially not be. Other than that, they should be favored by at least a touchdown every single game.
They will be. Duke just lost to Tulane.
Yeah, they lost to their old school. But Tulane's probably Tulane might be fighting for a playoff spot this year.
You pair that with a blowout loss to Illinois, and
Georgia
Tech is going to be fine. Unless Georgia Tech lays an egg against Wake Forest, who has a very formidable offense, it looked like, for the first half.
I do think Georgia Tech drops a game in here somewhere. I think it's going to happen. I just think they're going to be upset by somebody. I don't know which one.
Does Virginia Tech rally around the firing of Brent Pry?
What, rally around to not lose by 30?
Yeah. Is that their rallying?
And only lose by 10?
They're going to have their rallying cry. That was a good dad joke. You should have liked that one.
They might just cry instead.
That's true. No, this Georgia Tech team is legit. The defense made plays when it needed to make plays. Haynes King is a dog. We all know that. Their passing game was limited. Eric Singleton made a great play. Or, excuse me, Eric Rivers. Sorry, Georgia Tech fans. Eric Singleton's no longer there. But I will say Isaiah Canyon made some big time plays. He was their go-to guy when they needed a first down on third and manageable situations in which they weren't going to run the ball. So that's a guy that I can see taking a big step forward and becoming a household name this year. He's built pretty big. I want to say he's 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, 6'4", 215. And just really established himself as a consistent guy that Haynes King can rely on. He was winning deep. He was winning short. He was winning intermediate. Wasn't easy to bring down. So Georgia Tech's got themselves a pretty balanced team. And what's crazy is, Jake, I think this team will be better with their backup quarterback. Aaron Philo can sling the rock. And Haynes King cannot. But Haynes King is just that dude. Haynes Kong, that actually fits better. Haynes
King will not play in the NFL, but Haynes King is just a gamer. Like
he's Walmart.
He just knows. Yeah, he doesn't throw for a ton of yards, but man, that dude can take some hits.
Yes, he can. Keeps running.
All right, let's talk about our upcoming weekend slate of games. Got a bunch of good games here. Let's start off talking about Texas Tech and Utah. So Texas Tech is ranked 17th. Utah is ranked 16th here. Neither of these teams have really been tested yet. Texas Tech beat Arkansas Pine Bluff by 60, beat Kent State by 48, and beat Oregon State by 31. And none of those teams are that good. Kent State has one win over an FCS program. Arkansas Pine Bluff is an FCS program, and Oregon State is winless. Utah has played UCLA, who just fired their coach, Cal Poly, who is a FCS program, and then Wyoming. And Wyoming's 2-1, and they played Akron and Northern Iowa. So we really don't know much about both of these programs, other than the fact that they just have blown out their bad teams so far. And I think the winner here, I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams here because Utah looks like they have an offense right now.
I would say this: good teams beat bad teams, great teams blow out bad teams. And if they're consistently blowing out, they're handling their business and handling it handedly. That's a sign of both of these teams being pretty darn good.
What are your keys? You want Utah or you want Texas Tech? What are your keys to the game?
I'll go Texas Tech. So
okay.
Texas Tech, regardless of whatever they're building and the defense getting better and better, their identity still lies on that offensive side of the ball and led by Baron Morton. Baron Morton is leading the nation's second-ranked passing attack at 384 yards per game, Jake. That is absurd. That is, yeah, not bad. 66 points per game, which is leading the nation in scoring offense. So, man, the passing attack is back in Lubbock, Texas. But what we thought they were going to lose when they're starting running back, which I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, went down in fall camp with a torn ACL. They've been able to rely on two guys, Adam Hill and Cameron Dickey, 6 yards per carry. They're 207 yards per game, 219 yards per game, which is good for 26 in the country. They're very balanced on offense. So this Utah defense is going to be pushed. And all I have to say for a key to the game for the Texas Tech offense, be who you are. You don't and figure out what exploit Utah, what are they going to be weak at, and attack that. And you can do both. You can do both. You've proven that. You've proven that week after week. But don't try to go in there and be someone you're not. Don't go in there and try to overcompensate and try to run the ball against a Utah team that's their identity. And don't go in there and try to throw the ball 50 times if you don't have to. Go there, be yourself, and let it rip. Play loose. Play loose. I'm pretty sure this game is in Utah. Is it in Utah?
Yeah, it's in Utah. I believe it's a 10 a.m. local kick.
That's all right. So that's key because, guys, I know people are going to say this is silly. Utah at night is a scary place to be for anybody. So playing them in the morning at 10 a.m. is also weird, but not as bad as – there's some weird spooky vibes when you play Utah at night. So
I feel like there's some weird spooky vibes playing when the sun's barely up.
That's true, but we haven't seen that happen yet. At least I don't have anything in my notes that talks about Utah playing at 10 a.m., but I do have Utah playing after 7. So Texas Tech, be yourself on offense. Run the ball where you can. Pass the ball where you can. Don't try to do too much. Go in there and just be you. You're not playing at night. That's my second key. And the third, you better be ready. The defense better have their chin straps strapped on tight because this Utah team is going to run the football down your freaking throat over and over and over again. And if Texas Tech wants to be able to slow that down and manage this game, they have to be able to rotate guys because when you're getting punched in the mouth over and over again, you need a break. And second, you need to be able to maintain and establish the tempo of the game. If you're keeping your defense on the field because you're scoring fast, you're trying to move the ball fast, and you're going 3 and out or you're scoring quickly, it's going to be a shootout, and it could be ugly. But if you can control the tempo of the game on offense without losing your rhythm and without getting outside of who you are, I think Texas Tech has a really, really good shot. So just to summarize, number 1, be who you are. Don't change your identity because you're playing Utah. Number 2, you're not playing at night. That's a key. Number 3, be fresh. Rotate guys. Control the tempo.
I think the first thing for Utah is they have to finish drives. If you go back and you look at their game against Wyoming, they were only up 3-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
But they had 3 missed field goals and a fumble in the first half. You've got to finish drives, and you've got to finish with points. I mean, not that field goals are the perfect thing, but they would have been up 12-0, which would have been an ugly way to be up. But the second half, they went 10 plays, 83 yards and a touchdown. 19 plays, 78 yards and a touchdown. 3 plays, 18 yards and a touchdown. 6 plays, 75 yards and a touchdown. They went 4 for 4 for touchdowns in the second half. They have got to be consistent finishing drives. You have a chance to get points. You've got to get it. I know that we think Utah is a better offense this year, but you cannot leave that up to chance that the next drive you'll come up with points. If you happen to miss a field goal, get stopped on 4th, you have to be converting in the red zone and making sure that you are coming away with points here. Second thing is I think you can't ask Devin Dampier to do too much. He's been good so far, but there also hasn't been a lot of high pressure situations. This is going to be his first one where there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. He's yet to throw an interception yet. So I think you need to rely on that run game. You cannot ask him to do too much with the ball in the air. The final thing here is you've just got to find a way to put yourself in plus territory. How can you back them up on punts? How can you get a fumble? How can you get an interception to stop on fourth down at some point? How can you maximize your plays in plus territory? Because this has a chance to be a high-scoring affair. If you can take away a possession, steal a possession or two away from Texas Tech, your chances of going up increase significantly. So finish drives. Don't ask Devin Pierre do too much. Steal a possession or two. Find a way to steal possession and turn that into a positive for you. Those are my 3 keys. Second game we got here is Auburn playing at Oklahoma. Both teams are undefeated. Oklahoma is coming off of their game against, Temple. They played Temple last week. And
what happened?
Football was played on the field.
By one team.
There was football played by both teams, kind of, ish. That's all we'll say. They attempted football out there. Auburn is coming off of a 31-15 win over South Alabama. Kind of ugly overall, if you want to think about that. It was probably way closer than it should have been. But Auburn comes away with a win. For you want Oklahoma or Auburn for this game?
Give me Oklahoma.
Okay. Tell me about Oklahoma's keys to their game.
Number 1, the defense needs to show up, specifically the rush defense. Now, when you talk about a Brent Venables coach team, you never have to doubt the defense, right? This defense is going to show up. It's going to do its job. It's got to be able to stop the run, specifically Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold has struggled immensely throwing the football every game this year. However, he's found a way with his legs. And Oklahoma's coming in with the 34th ranked rush defense. It's averaging, they're giving up 3 yards a carry. Not bad. But you supplement the fact that you're going up against a quarterback who can add that wrinkle. Now it's tough. You're having to identify 2 guys to make sure you know who to 2 guys are going to have the key to the guys in the backfield. You can't have 2 linebackers on 1 running back anymore, right? You have to have 1 linebacker key in the quarterback, and you have to have 1 linebacker key in the running back. So that's going to be difficult for this Oklahoma defense. I don't think it'll be too difficult for them. I think they'll be able to play it and play it well. So you just need the defense to show up and be who they are. Second, make Auburn be one-dimensional. So you kind of talked about – that's what I was just talking about. Second, open up the big play with the run. You talk about rush defense. Auburn is one of the best rush defenses in the country. Now, they've played South Alabama, right? But they've also played Baylor, who's a passing team. And who's a team they played week 2, Jake?
Oklahoma? Michigan?
No, Auburn. Who did Auburn play second?
Auburn played Baylor in the first week of the year.
Yeah, who did they play second?
Auburn played Ball State.
Ball State. Okay. So, of course, your rush defense looks like it's going to be the best in the country when Bryce Washington goes down against you, who's the running back for Baylor, and then you play South Alabama and Ball State. I think with Oklahoma's 3-headed rushing attack with Jaden Ott and the other 2 guys are slipping my head. Hold on. Where is it? Where are my notes? Jake, pull up my notes. I'm saying that people think it's your fault, not mine. I just lost my spot.
You got Tory Blaylock, Javonte Barnes.
Thank you. Tory Blaylock has really come on this year. And when John Mateer is in the backfield, you have to account for him to throw the ball. But I want this running game to set up the big play. I don't want them to dink and dunk. This Auburn defense is really, really good, and you have to be able to exploit them. Suck those safeties down to make them stop the run, hit them over the top. John Mateer is actually pretty decent, above average, in fact, when it comes to air yards per pass. He's at 8.6. That's almost elite. You need to exploit that in this game against a very, very solid Auburn defense. And then number 3, don't lose the close game. Don't lose the close game. I think this game could end up being close. I think it's going to come down to the last couple possessions of the game. If in order for Oklahoma to take that next step and to cement themselves in that upper echelon, that tier 1 of the SEC, like we talked about earlier, you have to win these close, ugly football games. Oklahoma is 1-5, I believe, in their last 6 SEC games. That has to change. 4 out of 5, excuse me. So, 1 for 5 in the last SEC games. That's got to change. You know who else is 1 for 5 in their last 6 SEC games? Auburn. So, you've got to win these close games. You've got to put it down. I think Brent Venables is able to get it done.
So the first key I have here is Auburn has to find a way to get Jackson Arnold comfortable in the backfield there. He has not thrown the ball a ton so far this season. 11 of 17 for 108 yards against Baylor, 24-28 for 251 against Ball State. Remember, it's just Ball State. I'm not taking that with too much, too much confidence there. And then South Alabama, 13-24 for 142 yards. How can you get Jackson Arnold more confident in the backfield? And obviously, this is a revenge game. He left Oklahoma last year. There's going to be some extra jitters here.
I forgot about that.
You cannot ask him to go out there and throw this ball 20, 25 times. I said this after the first game against Baylor, where they ran the ball 16 times for 137 yards with them, that you cannot ask him to go out there and run the ball like this. I think this is a game where you are going to have to ask him to run 15, 20 times in order to get first downs. Second key here kind of leads into that. Auburn is top 20 right now in the nation in third down conversions. They're 17th. They're 18 of 34 for 53% completion. It's top 20 in the country. It's actually 17th. Oklahoma is 4th in opponent third down conversions. They've only allowed 7 of 41 on third down so far. Now, granted, they haven't played the greatest offenses in the world, but 7 of 31 or 7 of 41, no matter who you're playing, is pretty darn good. Yeah. So you want to talk about good on good? Here you go. So how do you get that into third and short? Running the quarterback is going to be a very easy way. If you're not confident in Jackson Arnold being able to throw the ball, you've got to use his legs to get that in, get chunk plays. How do you get 3, 4, 5 yards so that all of a sudden you're at 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, where now you're either asking a scramble or actually asking him to throw the ball. The third thing here is look back at that Michigan game plan. Michigan actually held Oklahoma decently well because they had just over 400 yards, but overall, Oklahoma only scored 24 points. This was not anything where Oklahoma was destroying them. I mean, it was 21-13 at the end of the third quarter here. Go back and look at the Michigan game plan of how do you keep this game close. You need to keep this game close as long as possible and then take your shot. Maybe you're going to be winning early in the game. Maybe you'll be winning at halftime. But my gut tells me that Oklahoma is going to have control of this game early. You just need to stay close enough before you take your shot and before, whether that is, creative blitzes towards the end of the game, whether that, is, specific going for getting a punt block, something that can turn the tide late in the game to give you the momentum in order to win. I'm not confident in Auburn being able to win this game, but I think that they do have the skill players needed to win in a one game on Saturday. Auburn could certainly win, but they need a little bit of help. They need some things to happen and the ball bounce their way. Third game here, we got Indiana and Illinois. Illinois travels. This is a top 20 matchup. College Game Day should have went here. They're not. Night game on NBC. Illinois, Indiana. William, you're always a big Hoosier. I assume that you want to talk about the Hoosiers.
I was hoping to talk about the Illini.
I'll give you the Illini.
I'm off the Hoosier train. I'm not Hoosier Express anymore.
Okay, I'll give you the Illini. Go ahead and tell me who you want to. What the Illini need to do to win this game. They're underdogs right now too.
They are, which I love that. Brett Bielema loves that. Luke Altmaier loves that. But my man crush on this team, Hank Beatty. If you don't know his name, you're going to learn it. Get ready to learn Beatty, buddy. So Hank Beatty broke an 102-year-old record for Illinois in the first game of the year. with the most punt return yards in school history. He housed one as well. He went off against Duke. I believe he had over 100 yards against Duke, who, by the way, has one of the top draft picks, allegedly, in Chandler Rivers. So he's winning against top talent. He's going against an Indiana defense that's being coached by Curt Cignetti. My very first point, don't get caught in the Curt Cignetti chamber, the CCC. What is the Curt Cignetti chamber, people? He's going to talk. He's going to run his mouth all week, and he's going to give you bulletin board material. He's going to give you a trap. He's going to give you this information that you don't want. Yada, yada, yada. He's going to run his lip. Don't come in there all hot and bothered because he's been running his lip and do something dumb. So you got to keep your head on a swivel because Curt Cignetti is going to make you play emotionally. That's what he does best. He keeps people from playing logically and gets them playing emotionally. You start playing it emotionally in football, that's when penalties start happening. Second, contain Francisco Mendoza. Guys, he likes to run out of the pocket. He can throw. He is a good thrower. But the man makes a living off of his legs. So when you're rushing the passer, you don't need to work your way inside all that much or work your way too far up the field. Make sure you keep contained because if he gets running and he starts building that confidence, it's going to be a long day. Indiana is a very good football team. There's a reason they're favored, but I think this Illinois team is better coached, better talent at wide receiver, and I like Luke Altmaier more than I like Francisco Mendoza, and that's my third point. Luke Altmaier and the Hank Beatty connection is amazing, and I can't wait to watch it. If you haven't seen Hank Beatty play, you're going to watch him this weekend, and you're going to say, that dude, how the hell did he end up at Illinois?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great game. I'm very excited for this one. Very excited to watch this game since that night. The first key I have here is replacing Lee Beebe Jr. He's out for the season. He was the second leading running back, averaging 7.7 yards per carry. They still have Keelan Black, and they still have Roman Hemby, two guys also with 200 yards rushing already this year. But it was a three-headed monster there between Black, Hemby, and Beebe. Hemby and Black both have 34 and 36 carries respectively. So it's not like they're losing their running game completely, but they are losing a key part of that rushing attack. So does that mean you add a third running back in? Does that mean your two already there get more carries? What does that running attack look like, and how is that adjust? Because it needs to be accounted for. Similar, you can't snowball. So we saw against Duke where Illinois was able to snowball that and turn it into a blowout. The Duke and Illinois game was close for the first half, and then mistakes piled up, and Illinois just took advantage. And we've seen them do that over the last couple of years. They did it against South Carolina, where it helped them win that game. Then they didn't blow them out, obviously, but a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden, Illinois can build that momentum. So you need to avoid the snowball that Illinois can build. You need to have it more of a chess match back and forth. You cannot let them, get a turnover and take a shot and score, and all of a sudden you feel you just had a 14-point swing. Third here is, you just got to use Mendoza the way he's talented and the way he's gifted and skilled. He can run, he can move the ball all with his legs. What can you do to confuse this Illinois defense? This is obviously a very experienced team. Illinois was a preseason favorite to make the college football playoff because they were returning something insane like 18 or 22 starters on both sides of the ball. What can you do to confuse this defense? Curt Cignetti usually has something up his sleeve. It feels like it's always going to be something. What can you do to confuse this defense and get the extra yards, get the extra first down, get that extra chunk play to set yourself up? Final game here. We've got Clemson at Syracuse versus Clemson, because we will be at this game this weekend. We'll be at this game. First ever Clemson game. Pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, we got really good parking pass too, Jake. We're going to be sitting right next to the basketball stadium. So if anybody is listening and is going to be at the game, stop by. Come see the boys.
Would it be better to go watch an empty basketball arena than go watch the football team right now?
I lost connection. What'd you say?
Okay. What are Clemson's keys to the game?
Well, my first key to the game is you got to put pressure on Steve Angeli with 4. Steve Angeli is leading the country in passing yards with 1,072 passing yards through 3 games. He's played 3 games and he's passed over 1,000 yards. The dude can sling it. They're carrying over for what they did last year with Kyle McCord. Now with Steve Angeli, who we both thought was going to be decent, but leading the country in passing yards, I did not have that on my bingo card. So you got to be able to put pressure on them with 4. With 4. Don't blitz. You need as many people as you can playing coverage. You got to be able to put pressure on them with the 4 down linemen. Hell, sometimes even 3. Back a guy out into coverage. But you got to put natural pressure on him without having to bring extra things and manufacturing guys out of coverage to put pressure on Angeli. Because if you can't stop him, it's going to be a long day. Clemson's only ranked I think Clemson's ranked 94th in the country in pass defense right now. So that's not good when you're going up against the number 1 overall passer in college football. Number 2, build Cade's confidence early. You've got to get him going early. What do I mean? Give him easy throws. Give him stuff that are layups. Offensive line, quit letting people bat the ball down. Okay? Get people out of the pocket, out of his face, let him throw the ball, and build something early. Throw some screens. Throw some slants. Throw some out routes. Little chunk plays here and there. 3-yard routes, 5-yard routes. You don't have to do something crazy. Build his confidence. Let him get going. Let him run the football a little bit. They tried to do that against Georgia Tech, and he was even slipping all over himself in that game. Build his confidence early because, Jake, I'll tell you this. This Clemson fan base is a very, very passionate fan base. And right now they are not very happy with the product they're putting on this field, and they're specifically not very happy with 2. 2 meaning Cade Klubnik. If he struggles early, the boo birds are going to come out, and that is not going to be good for his confidence. He's got to get out there and get some success and get it done early so the fans don't turn on him quickly. And last but not least, run the ball on first down. Run the ball on first down. When Clemson runs the ball on first down, they're more likely to complete their third down passes or their third down conversions. I saw a stat earlier today that I was trying to pull up, and I can't find it now. But the most important thing that they can do is get in second and medium because they ran the ball on the first play of the drive. When Clemson's playing from behind, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. So if you're throwing an incomplete pass on first down, the offense is so clunky and out of rhythm and isn't gelling. So it's hard to put them off time and off rhythm and on these 2nd and long situations, 3rd and long situations, and asking them to convert over and over and over again. So number 1, put pressure on the quarterback with just 4. Don't bring any people extra. Number 2, build Cade's confidence early. Get the fans excited. Don't let them turn on them. And then 3, run the ball. Run the freaking football against the 102nd, I believe, ranked rush defense in the country in Syracuse. Let me verify and that's the 102nd. Sorry, Jake. The 104th ranked rush defense in Syracuse, and that's after playing Colgate. They played freaking toothpaste, UConn, and Tennessee. So, sorry, there's my piece.
Syracuse has to find a way to run the ball. They are 123rd in rushing offense right now. Clemson's 50 in rush defense. Middle of the road, obviously, Clemson has played LSU and they played Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, obviously, a very run-heavy team. Syracuse played UConn, Colgate, and Tennessee, and even against UConn, they didn't have 50 rushing yards. If Syracuse thinks that they can come in and throw this ball 50 times and expect to win, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they have to establish some form of a rushing attack. You saw that helped LSU, that helped Georgia Tech. If you come in here and just abandon the run game, I don't think it's going to go well because Clemson can pin their ears back with their rushers. They've got to find a way to run the ball. Second thing is here, you've got to knock Cade Klubnik. You got to get him off balance. if Cade Klubnik actually finds a way to settle in, which is a big if, finds a way to settle in, I don't think Syracuse is going to be able to slow down the Clemson offense. Syracuse, even against Colgate, only had 2 sacks. Only had 2 sacks against Colgate. They have got to find a way to get into the backfield there. And if they don't, I don't think Syracuse is going to be able to do much this year. Syracuse is 115th in sacks right now. It's not a good situation. I'm listing off stats where they're ranked in the 100s. 115th in sacks. They have 3 sacks so far this season. Not great. The last thing here is, you need luck. You need a little bit of luck here. You need something to go your way. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you need a thunderstorm to come down, and I don't know if you need, some special teams help here, but everything
Get this
here.
bad juju away from me. Get this bad juju away from me.
The stats right now read that this should go in Clemson's favor. I don't think Angeli can throw the ball 50, 55 times in the game and expect to win. If they just abandon the run game, it's going to go poorly. But the problem is they have to be efficient with the run game too. They can't average 2 yards a carry because then Clemson doesn't even need to stack the box.
I'll disagree with you. If they're able to throw the ball 55 times, that means the offense is humming.
No, it doesn't. Does not mean the offense is humming. We saw Marcel Reed throw the ball 37 times. He only completed 17. Grant, they won. I will say they won. But
that's true.
You can throw the ball 55
passes. That's 20 more plays. That means you have to be converting first downs. Or Clemson just keeps scoring very quickly and they put you back out there.
Or they're throwing it like 4 yards a time and not really moving the ball. I just don't think throwing it 40 to 50 times in this game is going to do well. They've got to find a way to establish the run, and it's got to be efficient. It's not just running the ball. You have to be efficient. You need to be getting at least 3.5, 4 yards of carry to give yourself at least the threat of running on third down. If there's not even a threat to run on third down, I don't think this game's going to be that close. All right. Let's get into our Gridiron Spice Spiciest Takes of the week. Just like our boldest college football hot takes, Gridiron Spice Company brings bold flavors to every meal, from signature varsity blend to the fiery hot route and Cajun-inspired go long. These seasonings are built for game day. Head to gridironspiceco.com. Use code WALKON for 10% off your order. Gridiron Spice, where football meets flavor. Last week, we both whiffed hard on this.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
I said Temple is tied or leads Oklahoma at halftime. That was not even close. Temple was being shut out at halftime.
What was the score at halftime? Do you remember?
A lot to not a lot. I want to say it was like 24-0. I don't actually remember. I stopped paying attention. And then yours was Clemson wins by double digits, and Clemson didn't win.
They did not do that. 28-3 at halftime. 28-3. You weren't shut out. Yeah, Clemson lost by 3. I did guess the score right. So if you read my prediction article, I had the score being 24-21, but I had Clemson winning. Obviously, that did not go that way. Oof. They definitely did not win by double digits. But, hey, you know what? That's in the past, Jake. We don't worry about the past here at the Walk On Redshirts. We worry about the future.
Let's talk about this week. So I have Dylan Raiola sets his career high in passing yards in a single game this weekend.
What's that number?
So I looked at it before, and of course I don't have that up right now, but I believe it is this year because he threw for 364 against Akron, and his high last year was 297. So that means he would have to throw for 365 yards this weekend against Michigan.
You think they're going to throw that many times?
I think he'll be that efficient throwing the ball.
And wait, where do you see when did he throw for 300 that many yards?
Against Akron earlier this year.
Oh, this year. I'm looking at 2024. I forgot. He's also playing football this year. Yeah, that is a bold strategy, bud.
I think he is just that efficient. And I mean, he is supposedly their quarterback messiah. He threw it 42 times against Cincinnati earlier this year. threw 38 against USC last year. Like, he's not a stranger to throwing the ball above 30 times in a game.
Yeah.
And that includes in games that, you're close or they win. Last year against Wisconsin, he threw for 38 times, threw for 293 yards in a 44-25 game. I think that he throws for above 365 yards this weekend. And sets his career high.
I like that. I don't think we're starting to see a trend where my takes aren't as bold as yours. But I think this is still fun. All right. Hear me out. Florida doesn't score a touchdown against Miami. Does not score a touchdown. Jake, DJ Lagway threw 5 interceptions against LSU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. They scored 16 points against South Florida. I'm not hating on South Florida, but they don't have a defense like Miami does. They scored 10 points against LSU. Hey, shout out. We're right there with you, buddy. If your offense is in the same conversation as Clemson, it ain't looking good. But they did drop 55 on Long Island University, which, has anybody heard of that? They have the logo. It looks like, do you remember when you used to be able to make a team in EA and the automatic generic team was Tiburon University, or however you pronounce it? That's what their logo looks like. So Miami's coming in. Miami put the clamps on Notre Dame for most of the game. That defensive line looked phenomenal. I think they're going to get after DJ Lagway, rattle him early, and they're not going to allow a touchdown. Florida's only going to be able to kick field goals.
We'll see how this plays out. All right, time for our walk on weekly 10. Last week I went 4-6. You went 5-5. Picked up a game there on me. We'll see how the rest of this season goes.
You need to tell the people what you try to do to me this week. You try to pull one on me and try to take a game from me.
Yep, I accidentally misread one and thought it was both 4-6. But William picked up one game, 5-5.
I caught him on it, people.
He caught me. He thought I was trying to cheat. All right, let's go through our games here this weekend. Let's start with some unranked matchups here. West Virginia goes to Kansas. Kansas is a 13.5-point favorite.
You know we're picking Kansas, Jake.
Yeah.
You know we're picking Kansas. I love my Jayhawks. West Virginia did just beat Pitt, and I thought they were going to get blown out by Pitt. So kudos to West Virginia. That ain't happening to Kansas off the bye. Give me Lance Leipold's, the fighting Lance Leipold's, rock chalk. Give me Kansas.
Yeah, I'll take Kansas too. They looked good overall against Missouri. Obviously lost late there, but Missouri's a much better team than West Virginia. I think Kansas covers the spread. SMU versus TCU here. We have a very important game here where if you haven't seen it on Twitter, there is a guy who's going to do something with a concession stand food if SMU wins.
There's a purple hot dog he's going to shove up his butt. Let's just put it out there. Let's put it out there. We have a
Is it bad that I'm rooting for SMU now?
A hot dog suppository could be going into someone based on the outcome of the iron skillet. That is a sentence you thought you would never hear, and it's probably the only time you'll ever hear it will be on the Walk On Redshirts podcast.
That's all you get here. TCU 6.5-point favorite. Who do you like?
I like TCU. Honestly, I think this is going to be a similar game to SMU and Baylor. I think it's going to be a shootout. I wouldn't doubt to see SMU up at some point, but I think TCU and Josh Hoover are more consistent than Kevin Jennings and SMU.
Yeah, the consistency right there is the key for me. Is the way they lost that game against Baylor. I lost a lot of confidence in SMU right now. I think TCU comes out and wins this game. I'm going to rock with the Horned Frogs here. Arkansas is a 7.5-point favorite on the road at Memphis here. Who you like?
I got a lot of confidence from Arkansas in how they played Ole Miss. I know Ole Miss's defense is a little lackluster, but I liked how they played them. What did they drop? 38 on them. Taylor Green looked really good. And I think coming off of that high, I think that's momentum building off of a loss, a momentum builder after a loss. They're going to take that into Memphis, and I think they're going to drag Memphis. I got Arkansas covering that one.
I am taking Memphis to cover the spread here. I think going on the road to Memphis, it's obviously not a very far distance. I think it's going to be a little bit of a weird game. Memphis is one of the better Group of 5 programs, has been over the past 15 years or so. I think Memphis is going to cover the spread. I think Arkansas comes out on top, but I think they're in a dogfight the whole game here trying to pull out the victory. So I'm going to take Memphis to cover here.
Dogfight against a Razorback and a cat. A pig and a cat.
We've got Syracuse against Clemson earlier in the slate. 2 unranked teams. Sorry, Will. We've got 2 unranked teams here. Syracuse is a 17.5-point underdog against Clemson this weekend.
The line's already moved down. We started off 19.5, so this is looking bad for us. No, give me Clemson. The Walk On Redshirts are going to be in the building. We have to bring that mojo. We bring that energy. Jake Clemson's going to cover it. Clemson's going to freaking cover it. It's going to happen this week. They're going to cover it. Please, Clemson, please make Saturday enjoyable for me. Please.
I'm hoping Clemson wins, but we're in a competition here. So I'm taking Syracuse to cover the spread. It's 17.5. That feels like a lot. And Clemson has not covered a spread yet this year. Maybe it's this week. That Troy game lost a lot of confidence in what I thought they could be. So I'm going to take Syracuse to cover the spread, but I think Clemson wins this game. Wouldn't shock me if it's a backdoor cover here. Florida at Miami, 7.5-point spread here. Florida or Miami?
I'm going Miami. You heard my bold take, my gridiron spicy hot take. I'm going Miami to beat this one. I think they're going to beat the bricks off of Florida.
Yeah, I don't know why I had Florida here originally, but I did. This spread has moved like 4 points already since Sunday. And I think Miami is just a significantly better team. They don't have a quarterback that's going to throw 5 interceptions, although Carson Beck could, but he has yet to do it in a game. So I'm going to take Miami as well. Michigan is a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Nebraska this weekend. You like Michigan or Nebraska?
Give me Nebraska. I think year 3, Matt Rule, you hear it over and over again, is taken over in Nebraska and over in Lincoln. And I think they go and they lay it on Michigan this weekend.
Yeah, I'm taking Nebraska. Obviously, Sharon Moore is out. I talked about how I think Dylan Raiola throws for 365 yards. I'm going to take Nebraska this weekend. Bryce Underwood on the road again, another hostile environment. He is not getting – I know you're not expecting a road environment that's easy, but it's not like he's getting Northwestern. It's not like he's getting Purdue. He got Oklahoma and Nebraska his first 2 games on the road. Not easy. I think Nebraska takes him here. We've got Auburn playing. Actually, no, let's do Tulane and Ole Miss. Tulane is an 11.5-point favorite. Right. Tulane is an 11.5-point underdog at Ole Miss this weekend. You like Ole Miss? You like Tulane?
This one was one of the tougher games to pick. I'm going to ride with Ole Miss. I just think the offense is too powerful for the Green Wave. And I think that's what's going to be able to put them ahead. We could have a situation like when Kentucky was playing Ole Miss and they backdoor cover, but I've got Ole Miss covering this one.
I'm taking Tulane to cover. I think 11.5 is just a little too much. Ole Miss, I'm not really sure what their defense is. I think Tulane is going to be able to move the ball here. And I think they're going to score enough points to cover that spread. Tulane's a legitimate contender for the college football playoffs this year. So yeah. I don't think they'll win this game, but I think they'll do enough to keep it respectable. And when people look back, they'll be able to use this as a justification that they played Ole Miss tough on the road.
G5, Jake?
G5. Texas Tech at Utah. Utah is a 2.5-point favorite this weekend. Who you like?
I've been flipping back and forth on this one. At the beginning of the season, I just listened to the Always Talking Ball podcast, and one of the things they said that was really profound to me was, don't shift away from your preseason predictions too early. And I had Texas Tech winning this game in the preseason. I had Texas Tech competing to play in the Big 12 championship in the preseason. So I got to stick with that. I think Texas Tech wins this game. And I think it's because of the balance of the offense. I think they're able to outlast Utah in any sort of fight they get into. So give me the Red Raiders, and let's ride that high they've been building on this offseason.
I'm going to take Utah here. I think their rushing attack is going to do enough to keep the ball away from Texas Tech. I think Devin Dampier is going to do enough to score points. I think they're going to finish drives this time. I think that they learned a lot and figured out what they can and can't do. I think this could be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to take Utah to cover 2.5 points here. Auburn travels to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 6.5-point favorite here.
Oklahoma. I think they drum them. No, that's not true. I did say I thought they were going to win in a rock fight, but give me Oklahoma.
I'm taking Oklahoma as well. I'm not sold on Jackson Arnold. I think there's also going to be a lot of nerves going back to Norman. This game was being played at Auburn, maybe a little bit different, but going back to Norman, I think there's going to be some nerves there. I think that could rattle him a little bit there. And then finally, number 9, Illinois is at number 19, Indiana. And Indiana is a 5.5-point favorite here.
Yeah. The people's game day game.
The people's game day game. True.
Give me Illinois. Give me Illinois to win. Give me Illinois to cover. Give me Illinois to win this game by double digits. This is almost my spicy take.
I just flipped my pick. I'm going to take Indiana instead. There's something about Fernando Mendoza that I think he is going to be able to exploit the Illinois defense a little bit. I think he's going to make some plays. I think Curt Cignetti is going to have his boys ready. I think Curt Cignetti is going to use they're ranked 9, we're ranked 19, ignore the spread. I think he'll be able to get his guys ready for this game. I think Indiana covers the spread.
Jake, I sat there and called him Francisco Mendoza at the beginning or earlier in the podcast, and egg on my face.
Close.
I'm sorry, Fernando.
Mendoza.
You're named after that ABBA song, not the reference to the elf. Francisco. You're Fernando. Sorry.
Well, that does it for this week's episode. If you aren't doing so already, make sure to follow us on social media. Check out the walkonredshirts.com. I put out like 6 or 7 posts already this week, and we've got tons more coming before the weekend. We're up to something like 11, 12, 13 posts a week. There's all sorts of great content that's coming out every week for college football. Heisman, Group of 5, recaps, previews, Heisman talk, just anything that you're looking for right now. We've got it on the walkonredshirts.com. Make sure to follow us at Walk On Redshirts on Twitter /X, Instagram. We're on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Give us a rate. If you give us a rate, we will get you out some stickers for 5-star listeners. People that have sent me your addresses, they are in the mail. They should be coming to you this week. I put them in the mail today, so they are coming out to everybody.
Are you bringing some down? Are you bringing some down?
I am. We can hand them out to people.
Let's hand them out at the game.
Let's hand them out. And then finally, go join Squad Blitz. They're giving away $100 this week to whoever comes in first place for their contest. Going to be a great contest. They've got a lot of games on there. I'll have a post coming out this week on what I would pick. Obviously, if you pick the same lineup as me, we both win. I guess we're splitting $50, but it is what it is.
Hey, that can go towards our Airbnb in Kansas.
That can go towards our Airbnb in Kansas or the rental car, one of the two. Cannot wait to get out to Manhattan, Kansas here. Or Lawrence, my bad. We're going to Lawrence.
Whoa. Yeah, clip that.
Lawrence, Kansas. We're going to Lawrence, Kansas. With that being said, make sure to go follow Will at Walk On Moose on Twitter. It's going to be another great weekend of college football, and cannot wait to talk to everybody again next week.